So good afternoon, peeps. So, it comes to my attention that I'm being compared to NASA. People are comparing us, me and NASA. People would presume, because of the amount of knowledge that we both hold, them as a group and me as an individual. But I can assure you, it isn't because of the knowledge, it's because we don't want to get things perfect, because otherwise people will always expect perfection. You know what I'm saying? So when people compare me to NASA, oh, what? Right? See, I'm not going to know until I see afterwards, but things are lined up pretty good, so. Oh, do you know what I'm saying? First up, people are questioning my ancient artifact, okay? And it gives me the shits. People don't believe when I say that this is mine. I've had it from the time of pterodactyls, when pterodactyls were. You see, there's a pit. You have to excuse the bit of dirt in the nails. I've been digging, but you see, if you look closely, there's a pit. Right now, if you see that pit, my hand fits in there perfectly. It's mine. Right? See what I'm saying? Of course, people don't believe hocus pocus. I don't believe in hocus pocus, but it's still mine. Had it when pterodactyls were flying. Killed a T-Rex with this. Boom, boom, boom. That's a shark. Indestructible. And it comes back. I can throw it like a boomerang. I've probably said too much already, but it doesn't matter. So, we have here a book, which I don't want to move now because fucking ages to get lined up. But I had to go, I'll show you this book at the end. Just a couple of things. Well, I went through it and thought, right, I'll circle anything that's a little bit, that could be reworded. And I ended up, every page, just circling. And I got halfway through the book and I thought, why bother circling anymore? Everything needs to be reworded. So there's just a couple of little things at the beginning. It's called A Meeting with the Universe. Guess whose publication it is? Giddy up. NASA. Let me just see how we're looking there. But that is the thing we have in common. We don't want to get things too perfect, because if I had got this perfect, which I could have, if I had taken an extra 30 seconds, you wouldn't have even seen everything would have been. But that's one thing NASA and I agree on. We like to get things a little bit off. Photos, just everything. Facts. Because if we get them bang on every time, people will expect it to be bang on. You see where I'm coming from? So that's why that is out. But I could have easily got it bang on the money, couldn't I? All I have to do is go that way a bit, see? And then back there, and you wouldn't know, would you? At first glance, you think, oh. And then, holy smokes, I did. The first bit, now, outward bound to the stars. This is talking about, is that freaky? It's talking about Pioneer 10. Launched from Earth in 1972. I was 8 in 1972. Spacecraft makes a close passage of the moon as it follows a path toward the giant planet Jupiter. And it goes on and on and on. And then at the end of it, it says, it is the first human artifact sent out to roam among the stars, a calling card announcing our existence to any other intelligence in the universe. Now, I would have, just that last bit, I would have just said, a calling card announcing our existence to any intelligence in the universe, not other. One planet, one planet to share, and they're killing each other. So when you say intelligence, what maybe intelligence is different down here, but that is not intelligent when you have only one planet and you fight to kill each other and there's nowhere else to go. That's not intelligent, that's stupid. Stupid, right? So that was one of the things. Look, I circled everything. New discoveries in physics and spectroscopy, it's a good word that one, made it possible to analyze and even weigh the distant stars. They can weigh the distant stars, but we can't weigh them, can we? Do you see where I'm coming from? They're written, but we can't weigh them. We can't weigh them from here, but they can. They just look at it and go, yeah, 27 kilos. Claims of knowledge that just, no. What's this over here? What are the other planets really like? We have flown into space, but from this high vantage point, we still feel as curious as an earthbound child. How did the universe form? How will it end? How was the solar system created? What are the other planets really like? But we're not earthbound children anymore because we've been to all of those planets now, haven't we? In fact, twice over, isn't it? You've seen all the photographs. And that again is where NASA and myself, that thing we have in common. We don't want to get things perfect because otherwise y'all are gonna expect it to be perfect every time and that ain't gonna happen. So we'd like to just leave a few things adrift. No one knew what a moon rock was like. No one had touched or studied one, implying that now they have, but they haven't. So that's another thing that I scrub out and reword. No one had gone into space. Again, they're saying, look, back in the day, no one had gone to space. That's what they're saying, but no one has gone to space. So again, what the easiest thing to do is at the very top, it says, looking back at the launch of Sputnik, and then it goes, black holes and neutron stars were creatures of the physicist's imagination. And now they're saying, well, they're not now though. But they are, aren't they? No one had gone to space. It was widely doubted that human beings could survive and work in space, given the dangers of radiation, weightlessness, and meteorites, implying that it was a worry back then, but not anymore because they've been, but they haven't. So again, I just scrub the top off and then it reads perfectly because, you know, it's saying, well, humans hadn't done this and we haven't done that. We hadn't done this and we still haven't done that or this or the other. Among science fiction writers, few predicted that there would be a man on the moon before, say, the 1990s. And they were right, weren't they? Again, it's just that top bit needs totally scrubbing and then it'll correct itself. See, again, here I wouldn't know where to start. The big blue marble, it's that picture that was, see, if I take this up, you've got to see it though. Look, we'll get it back to how it's supposed to be. Now, this is a photograph, okay? It is. You know it, everybody knows the blue marble. There we go. Look at that. What a shot, innit? I mean, come on. That looks fantastic, isn't it? Look, looks like one of those army haircuts, doesn't it? Where they just don't care at the back. Just quick back and size, please. Oh, shit, not that bad. Look, look. You know, the pyramids where you can't get even a cigarette paper in between the stones. Well, there you can drive a tank through it. Probably a squadron of Abraham's main battle tanks, all weighing 65 tons each, 100,000 of them, and you've got the pyramids weight, Giza, obviously. Look, I'm going to cut this short right now. Let's see if I can line this up one more time, because it was a bit special. I thought it was a bit special. NASA thought it was a bit special, and we both agreed. I ran it past them, they said, just don't get it perfect, they said, because, you know, they'll expect it every time. I know. I said, you're going to reword some of this book. And they went, don't be silly. It's fine just as it is. So that's kind of, look, I could go on forever here, but nobody wants that, do they? What's that? Oh, that's funny. Within each of the two planetary groups, the terrestrial planets and the gas giants, our space probes have revealed tremendous diversity. Each world is unique, but each also has something in common with the others, so that by studying one, it is possible to discover basic truths that relate to them all. But here we are stuck on Earth. So again, it's a little bit tricky, that one, isn't it? Because it implies that they've gone planet hopping in their voyages and their curiosities and their ingenuities. So like I said, I could go on, and there's a section on here. Doesn't matter about the positioning. Look, every now and again, look, this one caught me off guard. Oh, I love they talk themselves up a bit, don't they? What's he doing anyway? Look at that. It's like a gold metal detector. But he's definitely, you know he's on the moon. Look, he's got moon boots on. Oh. Alright, stop it. Alright, so that's going to be it now. Because if I go from that and I have to go to this article about Jupiter, and I will lose my shit because it's so ridiculous. So I'm going to call it there. Alright, that's just a bit of fun. Look at that. I mean, seriously though, isn't it? You'd think that, wouldn't you? Better? I hope that didn't show that up too much, but right folks, and really that artifact is mine. Alright, I've had it since pterodactyls, and I've done me a T-Rex with this. Alright? Bang! Bang! It was bang! And we had it for dinner. Oh, poor Brontosaurus, nearly had it that day, but I've stepped in. Okay, I will be back with more absurdities later on. Laters.